Oh,
and one's
sure,
for Stevens. Stephen, did you get somebody to sing yours? To come down from Chico and sing it? And let me know either tomorrow or Wednesday.
Yes.
if he says yes.
Was he here today? I haven't seen him.
Yes. May.
She's walking the practice room.
No, she was in the computer lab last time I saw her. She was working on the project.
Don, do you?
Yes, Chris is doing mine.
It's pretty, you got a lot of names on that roll.
So he's definitely doing yours, but you're saying you could probably do yours.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Well, you're not getting graded on
Sure.
singing.
I goes to my.
No.
All right.
So I could sing along.
In that case,
I'm not getting graded on
as
the
soon as we
thing.
found out that May has somebody, we could shoot for Friday. Is that good? That's April 15th. Something I'm supposed to do by April 15th.
What was
I
it?
can't remember. It's probably nothing important. It's one of those things.
Not only that, but that's the last day of
Applications
petitions to
for
graduate.
Yes, petitions for graduate at the 15th.
Oh, so there is something important happening.
Yes.
That's good to know.
I get 2 degrees.
All right,
One in arts and humanities and the other one in.
I'll ask Mr.
You had
Shepard.
an art, did you have an art class before?
Mhm. Well, check it out because
Check it out.
half of our music classes count as arts and humanities. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Our,
true, yeah.
1A, 1C, music.
So you have to have some form of art.
May, do you have somebody to sing your project? Do you have a project?
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Do you have somebody to sing?
Or actually,
Which one?
Okay.
That's not the UA class?
Do
no,
you have
this
a
one.
copy to give a singer?
Children, early children, education 1A?
So we have got,
You need 18 minutes.
we're thinking about doing it on Friday, but
1B,
we have to have a singer on Friday.
you already have.
You don't have anybody, do you have anybody you can ask?
Right
Is
there.
that the street, is this the history?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Eight.
And
Oh,
what's
okay.
1A?
Theory and harmony.
Oh,
Do you have a history?
Another schedule.
That's in that list.
that's music history.
Do you have a
She's
history?
been by,
My Western civilization, I have.
Okay, so do you have an arts and humanities degree? Yep. Apply for 2 of them, like a music degree and your arts and humanities. You'll have two degrees. This is your general ed. You'll have a general ed and arts and
so
humanities.
tentatively, we'll do it Friday, but it's still depending. May still has to ask a singer. Who else was asking to sing? Me, talk to somebody. And then I have to talk to Mr. Shepard, give him a copy of something. Make sure that's okay. So if we can't do it Friday, we would end up doing it Monday. But let's tentatively aim for it. Any more homework before it's officially late?
Two of them. I have the original.
Nope. So you noticed it was a review, so there were some things on there. Hopefully you noticed, oh, we haven't had this in a challenge. Oh,
That was nice.
yeah, we need the review.
Do you have the more of them? Not that particular one, but.
Just things that are a review. Here's what's happening. We're going to enter a couple of chapters that are, well, this is a chapter on 9th and 11th and 13th. That's not all that common. It's not very difficult. Then we're going to enter a few chapters that are everything else, miscellaneous, that he couldn't fit in another chapter. It's very scattered. And then he has a chapter on Debussy and Impressionism. And then we go into the 20th century. So I'm not really testing you on the 20th century, but when I took this class, there was absolutely no bridge into the 20th century. So it was confusing to me when I later learned that the change to modern music was gradual. I always thought it was just, you know, it's 1900, January 1st, everybody has to be atonal. So we do want to cover that, 20th century. It'll help you if you transfer. It'll help you a lot to understand how we got to that. But what I want to start to do then is gradually do, while we're doing that, be doing reviews in assignment. So you're still analyzing and producing something. By the way, that's also when we're going to analyze an entire movement from something. Like a movement from a symphony or a movement from a piano sonata or something that's long-term. I'm open to suggestion. We do a different one every year. Does anybody have a movement of anything that you think is, what I'm looking for is, if it's something that's really a nice piece of music, it'll help you to analyze the whole thing to see why you like it, why it's a nice piece of music.
Planet of Opera.
Dun, 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 dun. Wagner, lots of French sixths and lots of 7 diminished sevenths. Maybe.
Haydn, or would that be too easy?
No. Oh no.
There's
Haydn is
something
not.
I'm
Don't confuse Haydn with being easy. He's often top down because he pretty much created symphonic form. They call him the father of the symphony. He didn't invent it, but he really got it going. So he spent all his time working on the form. And so a lot of people consider his stuff to be kind of lesser than Mozart or Beethoven. But I have analyzed Haydn symphonies, and they are very challenging to analyze.
I have this book of Haydn symphonies that I can bring.
Do you have a symphony you like, any particular, or just?
I'll just go through and see which ones I do like, because there's a couple of
Okay,
them.
anybody else? Can you think of like movements or entire pieces that might be interesting? Anyway, think about it.
I think they're water music and fireworks.
Yeah, now that's a suite. In other words, it's a series of short pieces. So you wouldn't really link them together on a large scale. A suite is pretty much what you say when you're just having one piece after another. I'm looking more for maybe a movement of a sonata or a movement of a symphony. Maybe a first movement of a symphony would be nice, because that would be sonata allegro form. We can try to see what happens in a development section. Or the first movement of a piano sonata. That would also have a development section we can see. Anyway, if you want to think about it, I'll look around. What I usually try to do is we listen to a recording of it the first time before we do any analysis. And I ask you to take a pencil, and every time you hear something you like, wow, that was neat, make a little check or a circle or something. And the analysis should tell you why it lit up there, why you said, wow, what's that? Should be something fairly attention-getting. I'm going to have to let you go early today. We have to let you go at 1:35, sorry. I had made a commitment to be in Sacramento for something, and after I made the commitment, they moved it earlier. Twice. First they moved it a half hour early, and I said, I am barely going to get there. And then they moved it another half hour early, and I said, so you don't want me there? But, sorry, it's not something I can get out of. So.
Not the 15th Friday.
Oh, that I can get out of.
Friday. Have you heard that song yet?
How could you not hear that?
I just watched the final for the first time last night.
Deaf people have heard that song. It's everywhere.
It's so annoying.
You gotta see the parody.
Get Brian. Just say Friday to Brian, and he'll start singing it.
Plus, there are all the parodies.
Oh yeah.
Parodies are
They're all
great.
over. Yeah.
The Stephen Colbert one, I think.
I haven't seen that. I just watched it.
So, in the 20 minutes that I have before I have to race out of here, I keep rereading his chapter on the 9th, 11th, and 13th, and I keep saying, he goes here and here and here and here and here. So I'm just going to tell you something about the 9th, the 11th, and the 13th. First of all, the theory of a 9th chord or 11th or 13th is very easy to understand. Imagine, if you will, a key that has a dominant triad. And remember that when we got to the dominant 7th, we said all triads are built in thirds. So if you can go up a third and up another third to make a triad, why couldn't you go up another third and then you would make a 7th? But now we're saying, well, if you can go up a third, what? Another third. Now, if that's a 7, so here we're adding a 9. Now, technically speaking, it's also got a 7th in it. So, if you have ever heard the term, in guitar, you would call this a G9. guitar chords are very simplified. But there's also